Okay, I'm just making sure. My biggest thing always is what if I forget to record it? So I have to make sure I get that right. All right, everyone, welcome to Ways to Nourish Your Soul. I am your host today, Muneerah. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I am the owner of my nutrition practice, Wellness Redone. I am also the founder of the 12-week program, Recharge Your Metabolism, for women 40 plus who want to boost their metabolism, learn to eat healthy, and lose some weight. It's day 11 of the 2-week program, How Not to Put on 20 Pounds in Self-Isolation. And I am delighted that we have a guest speaker here that can guide us through different ways to nourish our souls. Now, you might say, what does weight loss have to do with the soul? And I will say that it's not just your diet and hormones that can make you put on weight, but your thoughts, emotions, and fears can also play a big part in weight gain. And we touched on this when we talked about emotional eating last week, for those of you that attended that session. Energy healing is still very new for me, but I am very fascinated by it and have already experienced positive changes from it. So I'm really excited to introduce to you the very dynamic Neelam Hirji today. Let me give you a quick intro to Neelam. She is the founder of Flow, Glow, Grow. She is an elementary school teacher, and she's been a teacher for 18 years. She's a mother of 2, a meditation and mindfulness coach, and kids instructor. She's dedicated to being a community volunteer, and she's also the author of the book, Precious Poems by the Divine. Neelam is also an event planner, a dance choreographer, kids yoga instructor, and a Siam Reiki master. Neelam has taught mindfulness and meditation to over 1,000 children and 150 educators so far. She is passionate about sharing her experiences and expertise with children, parents, educators, and organizations on effective ways to manage stress and anxiety in order to increase overall emotional well-being. Welcome, Neelam.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, first of all, to be here and for you to give me this platform to share. It's wonderful to bond with you and hopefully with your audience today.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. So I'm going to get started, Neelam. The last few weeks, the entire human race has felt like the rug has been pulled out from under our feet. I don't have to expand on what's going on outside. We all know what's going on there. But what I do want to talk about is our inner world. People are worried, they're stressed, they're overwhelmed. You know, the list of uncertainties is very long. And it feels like there's no one to turn to because everyone's in the same boat. So who do you talk to? Who do you get support and advice from? So at a time like this, what can we do to nourish our inner selves so that we can strengthen our spiritual core?
Muneerah, you know, you've touched on it so well. You're so right. There is so much going on outside of us and also within us. Really, our world has been shaken up. You know, we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of routine. We're creatures of structure. And we've had this beautiful structure, routine in place day to day. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, shut off, lockdown, self-quarantine, self-isolation. Now what to do? What do you do with all this time you have for yourself now at home? And so hopefully I'm hoping to give you a few tips that have come from my own personal experience that I am continuing to practice, that I've shared with my clients. And also that are research, like based in research as well. I've definitely started new habits while I've been in self-isolation, aside from, of course, hand washing, but I mean things for my soul. And I'm actually encouraging others to do the same. So I hope I can share that with you today. I do have about 5 to 6 tips, and I hope at the end I can also lead you through a little bit of a mindfulness meditation as well. So that we can all have a little bit of space created within us and do a little bit of releasing as well. So let's just get started. So I think the most impactful habit or tip that I wish to share with you is definitely mindfulness. It has played a huge role in my life. And you may wonder, what is mindfulness? You've heard the word. A lot of people think mindfulness is really meditation. It actually isn't. Mindfulness is present moment awareness. So anything that you can bring your awareness to. We are energy bodies. Our thoughts are energy. Our words are energy. Our actions are energy. And you touched upon energy. And so everything within us and around us is energy as well. So if we can bring that present moment awareness to what is the energy that's happening within us in terms of how it's being presented, whether it's through a thought, whether it's through a body sensation, whether it's through an emotion that's arising, we can kind of create a little bit of space in between what we are experiencing in that moment, what we're reacting to versus what's happening, and be like a mindful watcher. So for example, it's very common right now. A lot of us are experiencing fear. Okay, fear, is it gonna, am I gonna get the COVID-19? Are my parents gonna get it? Or is my family gonna be affected? Am I washing my hands enough? All this worry, all this anxiety is definitely coming up for each one of us. But how many of us are really internalizing it and really saying the same script to ourselves over and over again? And how many of us can we actually just stop in the moment, be present? Okay, so I'm noticing the worry arise. Where is the worry coming from? Where is it sitting in my body? Is it sitting in the tightness of my tummy that I'm experiencing right now? Is it sitting in the fluctuation of my heart right now? Is it sitting in my constant, thoughts? Is the story still there? I'm worried. Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Right? And if you could just catch yourself in those moments through mindfulness, you can actually just watch it. And just in that sense, you'll see there'll be a distance and they'll actually fall away. You might have heard a lot of times, just watch your thoughts like they're passing clouds. That's exactly it. You're just watching your thoughts instead of getting wrapped up in the story of it. And mindfulness can help with that. Mindfulness can help in many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be just sitting and being with the breath, which many people think it is. It actually can be put towards an activity, just like brushing your teeth. How many of us, honestly, take time to really experience the activity of brushing our teeth? Or how many of us are on autopilot, just like brushing away, and oh, I'm done, okay. But if you added mindfulness to that, you would actually experience the sensation of the brush, hitting your teeth, scrubbing your teeth. You may even be able to taste a little bit more of, the toothpaste in your mouth, the gargling. There's like a whole mindfulness thing in there, that if you really bring your awareness to, it becomes a whole different experience. For me, honestly, and I'm a preacher of mindfulness because I'm actually a coach of it, I've seen so many benefits just by doing even a 5-minute formal practice of mindfulness where you're just sitting, grounding in yourself and just being and just watching what's coming up within you. We're very used to watching things around us, but not pointing those inner eyes to ourselves. And there's so much that happens within us. And so if we can just sit with a gentleness, a kindness, almost like a detective, like you're a detective. What's going on within myself? There is like this whole world that you can just be open to, just learning about yourself. And truly, that's what it's all about. We're on this journey of life for ourselves, right? We're trying to do the best that we possibly can. And we have to go through it, the ups, the downs. But if we can watch what's happening within us, it will just help us to get a little bit, overcome those obstacles a little bit smoother, I could say. So mindfulness definitely is a tip. If you can sit, like I said, for 5 minutes, sometimes people play music, sometimes they don't, and just sit. At first, you'll feel very bored. You'll feel like you want to get up and do something, but even watch that. Watch the boredom arise. Watch the fidgeting happen. Watch, okay, now what? Now what? Watch the thoughts that happen and stick through it. And you don't even have to start with 5 minutes. I mean, when I'm doing it with kids, I'm like 1 minute a day. And I've actually incorporated this with my family. We actually have 5 minutes of stillness, but it's not really stillness because you can never really be still, especially your thoughts. But we have 5 minutes of what's silence. And we've built that into our routine where we're just sitting and we're watching. And then we have a little bit of a share time. If you want to experience or share what you've experienced, go ahead and share. And it's pretty amazing the stuff that comes up that we notice. So that's definitely tip number 1.
So Neelam, if I can just interject and share something there. So I've been trying mindfulness when I'm going to bed. So when I'm in bed, the lights are out and 100 million thoughts are racing through my mind, right? And at that time, I'm like, okay, I remember reading this book by Eckhart Tolle about the presence of now, and the importance of experiencing now. And I've been trying to do that. And when I do that, it's like, I fall asleep like before I know it.
Right, exactly. And you're noticing already one of the benefits, which is better sleep.
Yeah.
And you probably find your sleep is even deeper, right?
Yes.
And so there's so many benefits as you're saying it from your own experience, better sleep quality, better relationships, because before you're about to react, you're watching yourself. Okay, where is, where is this anger? Where is this, frustration before you're about to react? And there's that pause that you're taking before you're about to hopefully becomes a response.
Right.
Definitely, even academic scores go up. I've definitely seen it in my students. We practice, I incorporate it in my classes. Every class has mindfulness throughout the day, even if it's for a minute or two. And it's just produced even better results academically. So I'm definitely a firm believer of that. I practice it. I coach it. I definitely encourage it. And I absolutely encourage everyone to try it and start with a minute a day. It's not easy to sit with ourselves. I'll be very honest. We're our own critics, worst critics.
Yeah.
But just see, even when that comes up, treat your awareness like a friend. If your best friend was going through something, a thought was coming up and it wasn't a nice thought, how would you treat that friend? You would calm that friend down. You would say, it's okay, and just watch it. So definitely mindfulness is a tip. I was moving on to meditation. Meditation is a little bit different than mindfulness, although a lot of people think it's synonymous. Meditation, and you might see lots of images where people are sitting cross-legged with like a mudra, hand posture, and they're just meditating. Yes, that is meditation. And yes, you can apply mindfulness to meditation, but meditation can look very different for different people. Like if I were to tell you right now, my most powerful meditation, and some of you who are in the audience would agree to because you know me, is dancing. When I am dancing, I feel that's my most powerful meditation because I am so engrossed in that activity. When I'm dancing, I feel the world doesn't exist. I'm in my joyous, moments when I'm dancing or when I'm doing choreography. That I'm lost. I'm literally lost. I'm lost with the music. I'm lost with the steps. I don't care what people, are thinking of me in that moment, kind of thing. And that becomes my meditation. For some people, believe it or not, it's cooking. They have to be in the kitchen because they want to cook. They want their hands, doing things. And that becomes their meditation. Or for some people, it's painting. Some people, it's taking walks in nature. And so just to get our minds around the fact that meditation isn't just sitting and breathing. It could be many things. And definitely bringing awareness, our present moment awareness to the times when we're doing that activity makes it even more powerful. Okay, so that's why I said I've kind of put meditation and mindfulness together, but there is a difference. The next tip I'd like to share is actually journaling. And you actually touched upon this, Muneerah, right now, where you said, when I'm sleeping at night, all these thoughts are coming. And that's exactly when I journal. I usually journal at night before my head touches the pillow, because I know I'm going to be, I forgot to do that batch of laundry, or I forgot to make this dish for the kids, or whatever the case may be, and I forgot to clean this. All that stuff comes up, right? And believe it or not, we have about, on average, 60,000 thoughts a day. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot. We may catch a few, and definitely we won't catch most of them. But that's when I journal. And when I journal, I basically am just taking my pen, my pencil, and I'm just writing out my thoughts. And I also write out my feelings. And it's been so therapeutic for me, especially times when it's been very challenging, when I'm experiencing some challenges in my life. And I'm just writing as if it's my best friend. Dear journal, this is what I'm feeling. And you're letting it out. So again, when we talked about energy, that energy of it is coming out. And believe it or not, when you are writing, you're also experiencing that. So you're mindfully aware because it's coming down on paper, but it's also out of your system so that it doesn't get repressed, because we're so good, I know I am, at repressing our feelings. But ultimately, we don't want that energy to sit there. We don't want it to sit there for weeks or months or years and just keep brewing and brewing and brewing. And then, something happens and then we're like explosion, right? So it's good to let it out. And I find at nighttime, I do that a lot. And again, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes, whatever I need. Sometimes I'm writing pages and pages and pages. But that's been really helpful. So journaling's been helpful. And not just necessarily taking out your feelings that have been maybe challenging, but also that have been very positive. Sometimes I have very light and bright and beautiful days that I've experienced, and I like to journal that as well. And in that case, sometimes I have a separate journal or even in my own journal, and I turn it into gratitude. And that's my next tip, actually, is to really speak about gratitude, because gratitude in itself has a beautiful energy to it. And I do that at night as well. So in the morning, actually, my tip is my feet will not touch the floor until I say an intention for myself. because I truly feel whatever we are saying to ourselves, the universe will carry that on, and it will give it back to us. So, and I've of course incorporated this with my family as well. So, we all get up, we sit up, you're in your own bed, and you're saying your intention. I wish to have a happy day. I wish to have a day full of surprises. I wish to have a productive day. I wish to have a peaceful day. Whatever it is you're wishing for yourself, and then let go. Don't have that expectation of I am going to have it and this is how it's going to come. Just let go of that expectation. And literally at the end of the day, watch how your day goes. And it's profound. There's been days literally I've forgotten. And those have been those challenging days that I've had. And yet, then I sit there, I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably because I didn't make that intention. I didn't set that intention. So it just carried out. But the minute I set that intention, that energy from my mouth, goes out, and therefore things just happen, and it's been profound. So I start that way, and then at the end of the day, I do my gratitudes, and I've done it now in a few ways. One way is through a journal. Another way I've done it is through having a gratitude box. So I just got a box from like Dollarama. I got some Post-it notes, got some a pencil or pen, and I've left it by the kitchen counter. And from time to time, it's not just for me, but also for the family. Kids will write on whatever it is that comes to their mind of what was the blessing of today that they're grateful for. They'll write it and they'll put it in the box. And then at the end of the year, we actually, on December 31st, take that date and we open the box and we start reading it. All these gratitudes that we've written. And it's amazing. It's so soul-filling, I want to say, because you just realize how much blessings, how many things you've had in your life that you truly have been grateful for, and how much has come your way. So we've done it in the sense of a box. You can even turn it into a jar if you want to do gratitude jar. So those are some ways that I've incorporated gratitude that are just simple, right? Like I try to make everything practical so everyone can practice, including myself. So that's morning intentions and nightly gratitudes. So the journaling you can do at night. You can do the gratitudes at night as well. And most recently, there was a few of us at work, some colleagues of ours, and we've had a few challenging times, or a stressful time, you could say. And we started to do a gratitude WhatsApp group, which has been really amazing. Yeah, so we have probably about, 8 to 9 teachers or so. And so now what happens is you're accountable, right? So what's been amazing is sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit low or whatever, I'm like, okay, all right, I really have to think, what am I grateful for? And we have those days, right? When I'm reading some of their gratitudes back, and we list 3 a day, we're sending it to each other a day. When I'm reading back, I'm actually feeling sympathetic joy, like empathetic joy when I'm reading theirs. And I'm actually noticing while I'm reading theirs, forgetting me for a second, there's like a smile on my face because that energy of gratitude is from them is coming to me.
That's right.
And so that also gives you a little push to, okay, it's your turn. Don't forget your gratitude. And so we will not end our night until, we've shared our gratitudes. And sometimes they're coming at like 11:30 at night, and that's okay. We read it when we read it. But it's been really helpful to boost our morale, to also raise our spirits during this time, especially now that we're going on to online teaching.
Yes.
It's a real challenge, So, it's been really, really helpful just to have that group, that supportive group. And we don't even say anything else. It's just we post our gratitudes and that's it. There's no, how are you? Why did this happen? There's nothing. There's no question. There's just total acceptance, total kindness, total awareness, and total sharing. And receiving at the same time. So you can do that in so many different ways that work for you in your own offices, with your own families and stuff. The last, I don't want to say the last, but the second last tip would be
Neelam.
Yes.
Sorry, if I can just interrupt. I just wanted to share. So for about the time that COVID started and the whole self-isolation thing started, I started making it a point to do the same thing that you just said, not get out of the bed. My feet do not touch the floor until I've done a gratitude practice. And so I just started coincidentally around the same time. And it's amazing the difference it's made to my state of mind. Like, whilst I'm talking to people who are scared and fearful, touch wood, I have not felt stressed at all during this time. Yeah. And I think it's coming from there.
Yes.
So the power is just amazing. Like sometimes it's so hard to articulate. And that's one of the things, since I've been exposed to energy healing and energy medicine, like I am totally fascinated by it. I think it's wonderful. I find it very hard to articulate it to other people.
Yeah, it is. You have to experience it.
Yeah, but it's so powerful.
Yes,
So it's
it is.
amazing.
And you know, you've said it. That's exactly it. Gratitude is really the best attitude. It just shifts you. It's a total
Yeah.
shift. So I totally encourage that as well. I encourage it even with my students in my class as well. From time to time, I'll be like, okay, what are you grateful for? And
Yeah.
that'll be our question. So the next tip is service work. And, you know, we just, as human beings, we want to be seen, we want to be loved, we want to be cared for. But at the same token, we also have this sense of, what can I do to make a difference? You know, how can I contribute? How can I help? We have that within us. And service work is just the best possible way. And, you know, right now, you can probably see the helping hands all over right now. I mean, aside from our frontline workers, which, I mean, they're amazing. And
Yeah.
many of them are actually on this call. So I say thank you from me and from all of us to you.
Yes.
Because really, I feel you're our earth angels right now. But really, even aside from the frontline workers who have to go to work, look at all the helpers behind them, the ones stitching the masks, right? The one, you know, going to food shelters and providing food, the people who are donating blood. Like, it's just endless, because everyone at this state and point, they're just like, okay, how can I help? How can I help? I want to make a difference. I want to contribute. I don't want to just sit here, you know, with all this time. I want to make a difference. And we have that in us. And it's not necessarily, we're seeing it more when a crisis happens, but even on a day-to-day basis. And so service work can really be soul-filling. And I'm sure, Muneerah, you can attest to this. You know, when you're sharing your talks like this on a daily basis, when you leave the screen, you're probably like, yeah, I've shared a little bit. You know, I've shared my knowledge, I've shared my time, I've shared my energy, I've shared my wisdom, whatever I can. And you leave with a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment, right?
Absolutely.
And so that's where I can encourage, is to nourish your soul, is really find a way that you can share a little bit of yourself with the world. And it doesn't even have to be with the world. It can be a group of people. It could be even animals, you know, animal shelter, help there if you possibly can. But really find what it is within you that you'd like to share. Obviously, you can see from me, you know, I've gone full on coaching with the mindfulness stuff, because, you know, I'm a firm believer of it. And so I've shared in that ways. And I feel like that's part of my service work. And that's really my purpose right now, to do that, to bring that out to the world, to children, to families, and so forth. So service work really does, not just by giving, but you're also receiving. Just like you mentioned, the gratitude, there's that energy behind it, definitely with service work. And then you just feel like it's a calling. It becomes a calling that whenever, you know, someone taps on your shoulder, can you help me with this? Sure, I'm there, because you want that sensation and that fulfilling feeling of, yes, you know, I do want to contribute, and I want to make a difference. And really, that's what we're here, right? We're here to experience our life. We're here to express in whatever way we possibly can through generosity, and that's through service work. So that's definitely another tip. And the last tip, and there's so many too, is definitely compassion towards ourselves, and definitely compassion towards the world. And I know we're great with giving compassion to others, but the hard one is compassion to ourselves.
Yes.
Because how many of us really look in the mirror and say, I love you? We don't do that. We'll say, I love you to our spouses and our families and our parents, but we won't necessarily, you know, apply that to ourselves. And why is that? You know, why is it that we can't look at ourselves in the mirror? It's probably because of that self-critical, you know, talk that's going on. Oh, you know, oh, I got to get hair color because now I'm getting the grays, or whatever the case may be, right? Oh no, you know, I'm putting on weight because I'm nibbling a lot, whatever the case may be. That critical talk is happening. And so that energy that's happening with our inner talk is going into you, and it's sitting there, right? So how can we actually provide compassion to ourselves? Well, definitely through all these tips that I've shared, but also by filling your own cup. Okay, so while you're, you know, trying to, you know, get everything ready for your family, for your work, or whatever the case may be, I almost look at it as, you know, we're usually like, okay, time management, but I kind of take a different perspective, and I talk about energy management. So in a day, say you're sleeping for 8 hours. Okay, so that's gone, right? Like, you're sleeping, you can't really do anything. But in the times that you're awake, how are you managing your energy, and where are you giving it to? And so maybe you're giving an hour of your time for cooking preparation or whatever for your family. Okay, your energy's gone there. Okay, then you have maybe 6 hours of work that you need to do. Okay, your energy's gone to work. But then you need to find that window of time, whatever it may be for you, that you can build in your day to bring energy back to you. And that's like filling your cup.
Right.
So that could be doing something that is just in solitude for you. It could be doing Zen Doodles, because that fills you. It could be a nature walk because that fills you. It could be whatever it could be. It could be like, for me, like I said, okay, dancing really fills me. When I dance, I'm fulfilled. So it could be that. So it's really finding that window. And if you look at your 24-hour clock, and if you can even carve out, maybe even start with half an hour and then build it up. Maybe it's a bubble bath for you today. And it doesn't have to be the same routine every day, but to really find something that fills you, that gives you that inner joy, that it's not going to anyone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's very important. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you finish. Then we'll start.
No problem. So basically those are the tips. And I would say, and I touched upon this already, and my last tip really would be connecting with nature. Not only just for the sake of body, like through walking or running or whatever, but honestly, there is energy in nature, right? It's all energy. And there's so much wisdom in nature. When you go out and you're looking at, especially now when it's spring, and you're seeing the bud, like there's energy in that. What is causing that to bud? And there's no complaints, right? There's no complaints when that branch falls off the tree, right? So it really teaches you a lot, and you can really be an observer. Like there's so much, you can definitely apply your mindfulness when you're doing those nature walks. Something I know I've shared with you already, Muneerah, and you can tell your audience a bit later, but just recently I took out this whole YouTube video called Connecting with Nature. And they're all my photos that when I was going on all these nature walks at different places. And in certain slides, there's actually words written in it because that was the wisdom that was coming to me while I was taking those walks. So for example, there's one scene where there's like rocks all over the place. And then there's like this beautiful plant that's emerging from rocks. There's no soil, it's just rocks. And the wisdom that I got from there when I saw that in real life was will, right? The willpower. That plant has willpower, that there's nothing but rock, right? Sturdiness, but yet it's emerging, yet it's blossoming. And so we can certainly get wisdom from nature and definitely become very more mindful just watching, by observing nature, being in nature. And nature also has a very healing power. So definitely, I know right now it's tough because it's self-isolation, but if you can get yourself out into nature, that would be wonderful, even if it's like 10 minutes a day, because that could definitely be soothing for you and your soul as well.
Absolutely. I think more now, it's the only place we can go. And two, it's good to get out because we have a little more time on our hands, so there's no excuse for it. Yes, in some places the weather's a little more extreme, but you can bundle up and you can still go out. Like you said, I think 10-15 minutes, just that refreshing cold air alone can be energizing, right?
Yes.
It's just absolutely so nice. Like, I'm always trying to open out the windows and I push the kids out. Like everybody has to go out every day, like no matter what.
Yes, that's great. That's wonderful.
Very important.
Yeah. And I also know there might be like some people who may have limitations, like maybe they cannot go out for whatever purpose, right? But just like you said, have that fresh air come in then, open some windows if you possibly can, whatever personal, have the shades up, get that light coming in. Yeah. So as much contact as you possibly can have with nature, check out my YouTube video in the sense that there's nature pictures there, whatever you can have, that interaction, definitely do that. Because you'll still receive in that way. So yeah, those were my tips. Was there anything, did you want to take questions right now before we do our little practice with the audience?
Sure. So if anybody has any questions, just please post them in the chat box. And Neelam, if you can quickly explain to us, what is Zen Doodle?
Oh, Zen Doodles, actually it's like the latest thing, but have you seen mandala designs?
Yes. Yeah.
Like Mendi, right? Mendi henna, right? Zen Doodles is just that. But you're doing it into shapes. You can create your own shapes and stuff like that. Believe it or not, and I'll share something very personal for my daughter, my own, teenage daughter. That's her meditation. She, like I said, dancing for me, for her, it's that. She will escape. Yesterday, she was working on it for 2 hours, but she was totally engrossed in that activity. And I let her, like, that's her time. That's her compassion time, right? She's giving to herself. She's totally lost in it. Nobody disturbs. And so that's it. So we respect each other's spaces here in our home as well. And we really honor, we have this thing of my time. And if I claim, oh, I'm on my time right now, nobody interrupts because that's my filling the cup time.
Awesome. That's a wonderful practice to have in the house because that's a great way for the kids to grow up, right? Then they're going to take it with them through life. Awesome. Right. Yeah. So why don't we get into the practice?
Okay, wonderful. So I'd like to leave you with, let's do a little bit of compassion because we are here together and thank you all of you for actually joining us today. for a little bit of nourishment of your soul. So I thought I'd leave you with a little bit of nourishment before we go. And if you're okay, Muneerah, since I have my Siam Reiki, if you don't mind if I do a little bit of Reiki energy infused.
Sure.
So I'll even set that up so people can even notice what that might feel like if they experience anything. Okay. So let's begin. And I might actually close my eyes because I'd like to experience this with you while I'm doing it. All right. So just start by taking a deep belly breath in and a big releasing breath out. Let it go. Let's do that again. Big belly breath in. Big exhale out. This time, I'd like for you to feel any feelings that may come up. Maybe it's a sense of worry, frustration, stress. Maybe there's tension in the body. We're going to try to bring all that possibly up with the next inhale that we take. Okay, whatever it is, the stress load, whatever it is you're experiencing that's causing a little bit of tension in your energy, bring that up. So inhale that in, bring it up. And now with a very slow releasing breath, as slow as you possibly can release it out. Excellent. We're going to start with a little bit of a settling practice, which is basically a little bit of body scanning or body awareness. So feel your feet making contact with the ground. So perhaps you're sitting on a chair or your bed. Perhaps you are cross-legged, whatever form you have taken, whatever your body has taken naturally, the form that it's taken naturally, just be in that. Feel your feet on the ground. Can you feel the connection of your feet to Mother Earth, to the ground? Feel your feet supported. Feel your feet grounding. Feel your feet rooted. Now gently bring your mindfulness, your awareness to your legs, to your calves, to your knees, to your thighs. Breathing in, breathing out. Just simply notice if there's any tension in that area. If there is, with every inhale and exhale that you take on your own, release. Release. Bringing your awareness now to your seat, your glutes, your hips. A lot of times we carry a lot of tension in our glutes, in our seat, in our pelvic region. There's a lot of holding there. Sometimes things to do with the past as well. See if you can breathe space into that. Breathing in and breathing out, release. Knowing that it's safe to release. You're in a comfortable place. It's safe. Just simply relaxing with every breath. Just keep your awareness. Your awareness will want to travel. It may go to a thought or somewhere else. Just gently guide it back. We're still at the glutes and the hips. Notice what's coming up for you. No judgment, just watching, just being an observer. Beautiful. Now bring your awareness to your lower back, and as well as your lower abdomen. Sense the heaviness in this region. The lower back and the abdomen, it's part of our core. It holds up upright. It does a lot. Just feel the heaviness here. With no judgment. Breathing in, feeling that heaviness rise. Breathing out. Releasing and sensing how it feels now. We're going to do that a few more times. Breathing in, feeling the heaviness from the lower back, lower abdomen. Breathing out, releasing. Again, one more time, breathing in and breathing out in that space. Amazing. You're doing so great. Bring your awareness now to your middle back. And now I'm going to say your rib cage as well. So your middle back, behind you, your center core, your diaphragm, your ribs. Just sit with that. See what comes up there. And with every breath, can you notice your diaphragm, your rib cage expand and contract? Not forcing anything, but just, again, being a mindful observer, just watching it expand, contract. And believe it or not, it does this every day. We may not even bring our awareness to it, but it does. Taking a deep breath here. Deep breath out again. It's almost like you're deflating every place where I'm guiding you to. Again, deep inhale in, expanding, deep exhale out. Excellent. And yeah, feel free. If you need to make noise with your breath as it's releasing, no problem. Now gently bring your awareness to your upper back, your shoulders, your shoulder plates, your shoulder blades, your top of the shoulders, side of the shoulders, whole upper back region. You gently notice the way your upper back is. Perhaps it's arched forward. And again, just noticing. You don't have to shift anything. You're just watching with compassion. No judgment, no criticizing, just kindness, just gentleness. We're just watching the way this body has taken its form, the way it has, the posture that it has. Can you breathe space in between your shoulder blades by taking an inhale in? Feel those blades expand and exhale. Release the tension. You don't need to carry the world's weight on your shoulders. Again, take a deep belly breath here. Let it rise to your shoulders, your upper back, and release. Excellent. Now bring your awareness to your neck and your head. Notice what that feels like. Can you sense where your neck is, the position of your neck? Is it arched forward? Is it propped back? Can you feel the neck supporting your entire head, the heaviness of your head? Just let it go. Breathing space to the neck and the head. And then releasing. Again, breathing space, neck and head, and releasing. Now gently bring your awareness, your mindfulness to your jaws. The jaws, we also carry a lot of tension. Some of us might be even night grinders with our teeth. Can you separate your lips a little bit just to create an opening so that actually releases tension in the jaw a little bit? And breathe space into your jaws. First of all, notice the tension. Don't need to know why it's there. It's just there. That's okay. Breathe space into that. And release. And something that's wonderful for the jaws is a smile. When you put a nice smile on your face, that actually releases some tension in the jaws. And notice that. Does it for you? Maybe, maybe not. And that's okay. Just notice. Notice when you put a smile on your face what that did to your heart. Keep noticing the breath rising and falling. Simply noticed if any shift in energy has happened in the jaws. Now bring your awareness gently to your heart space. Notice your heart. You might even, if you're really able to notice, be able to feel your heartbeat even louder, or maybe even beating stronger. That's only because we've given attention. Our heart is beating all the time, as you know, but how many times do we actually pay attention? Breathe into your heart space, deep breath in, and let go and release. I'm going to do that a couple more times. Breathe in any worry, tension, stress. Breathe it in. And when you breathe out, feel as if it's releasing from your heart. Again, breathing in through your heart space and breathing out. Beautiful. I'm just going to be quiet for maybe a few seconds, and I just want you to check into the body. Notice if it's shifted in any way energetically. Notice how the state of this being in the body right now, what that feels like. Just observe. Beautiful. Taking your hands and placing it on your heart, both of your hands. Can you say a little gratitude to yourself, for yourself? I am grateful for, and then your name, and you can say this in your mind or out loud. It's completely up to you. I am grateful for, and your name. I am grateful to, and your name. Let's end with a little bit of self-love. Can you say, I love myself?
Myself.
And you know what? We're going to do that 5 times. I love myself.
I love myself.
Beautiful. I truly love myself.
I truly love myself.
And see what comes up for you. Sometimes this can be so powerful. You might even notice some tears forming for some of you. It's very powerful. And that's okay. Whatever comes up, let it come up. And keep just in a whisper in the mind. I love myself. I love myself. I truly love myself. I gratefully love myself. And keep that script in the back of your mind. You can place your hand now in your laps. Gently take another deep belly breath in. And a nice big exhale out. And whenever you're ready, in your own time, then you can lift your eyelids and open your eyes. Welcome back.
That was beautiful, Neelam.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating. And most of all, it gives me joy when people take out the time to give back to themselves. It really does.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I felt my sort of back open up because I'm always on the computer and always slouching. I felt that. I've had a lot of tension in the jaw and I just felt that release.
Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah, it was awesome.
If there's anyone else who wishes to share as well, if they experience
Yeah.
anything in the chat or openly, for sure, I'm always here. This was also energy induced. When I say that, there was Reiki. I was actually sending Reiki as well while I was doing this mindfulness meditation with you as well. So maybe some of you mentioned stuff. For me, I know as I was experiencing it with you, when I was saying I love myself, I felt teary-eyed. And I'm feeling for some of you that was very hard to say because you're not used to saying that. You're usually wanting to receive it from other people, but you're not ready to give it to yourself yet. So that would actually be a really good practice to even start with, just a minute a day. I love myself. I truly love myself. I love myself for all that I am and all that I've been created to be. I love myself. And do that even for a minute, even 30 seconds.
That's awesome. You have a
That's
couple
what
of
came up.
comments here. Thank you. That was awesome from
Oh,
Sharina.
so there were tears. I did feel the tears. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
felt
someone's been
like
crying.
tears rolled out of nowhere. Oh,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
that's
you.
that's wonderful. So this session is being recorded, and I'm going to put the link in my Facebook group, Weight Loss for 40 and Beyond. And Neelam will also put the link in her various social media sites. So if you wanted to go back, obviously this is a practice that we can do anytime, then you could always go back and do the practice again and again.
Yes.
Additionally, Neelam also has some YouTube videos. So we could, I will give you the access to that. Neelam has it on her links as well. So you can go into YouTube and follow her there. And Neelam, you work online as well as in person.
Yeah, so I am a teacher by day. In the evening and on weekends, I run my business, my Flow Glow Grow. But yeah, I'm open all the time. My website, you can go through my website, you can access my emails and stuff, and you can chat if you'd like.
Awesome. And Reiki can be done online too?
Yes, so I do actually do remote distance Reiki as well. So that the way that works is basically I don't need to know your stuff. I just need your name, where you live. When I say live, general place, like Markham, Ontario. And then I go in, I do the Reiki healing, and then I send you by email an insight report of what I've received. So just like right now, I've said, I kind of feel like some of you have been crying because I sensed that because it was hard for you. So whatever I pick up, I send you that.
And what is Reiki usually good for? What types of things?
Everything. It's an energy healing. So what it is it's the life force energy that is in everything. So just like a tree grows, how does it grow? No, it's not on a time clock. We don't tell it grow now and it grows. It's energetic. Just like, for example, when we have a paper cut, it heals on its own because we have that natural healing ability within ourselves.
Right.
So what I do is I'm not necessarily the healer. I'm just basically the channel between your healing and the universal life force energy. And in that, the Reiki comes through and it helps you on many different levels, on a psychological level, energetic level, spiritual level, emotional level, physical level. I'm providing Reiki like for cancer patients. And it's helping them, lessen with the treatments. When they have to go for treatments, the symptoms, they feel the symptoms, but it's not as severe pain than it would have been.
Right.
There's definitely a sense of peace that people feel through Reiki as well. And I offer it to children as well. So it's of all ages.
Awesome. That's great to know. You have another comment from Susan. She says, this was great. I need to tell myself I love myself several times during the day. My body feels great going through the parts. Thank you, Muneerah, for having Neelam here today. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thanks for connecting and thanks for sharing. I'm honored.
That's wonderful. So we're going to sign off now, everyone. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can post in either of our Facebook groups. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
So
thank you to Neelam. Any final words, Neelam?
Just, you know what? Give to yourself. That's all I can say. We give everything to everybody else. Just give a little bit to yourself in the form of words, in the form of thoughts, and in the form of energy, like you did right now for yourself. So thank you. And I'm so grateful to all of you for tuning in and for giving your time to me and Muneerah today. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelam. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.